Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal. I'm sitting here with Jeff. How are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well. And Matt, you're coming to us from the East Coast. How are you doing today?
I'm still doing good here on the East Coast. We haven't mentioned it yet on this episode.
We haven't. Well, we have to mention it every episode.
I know you do.
We
It's
do
the
not.
moment I leave.
Is
That's
the
all.
East Coast the best coast, Matt? You've lived on both coasts, or is it too early to tell?
Least coast
Oh, it's the least coast. Okay.
so far because I haven't seen much coast.
Oh, that's true. So
I'm-
you're not
I'm kind of-
saying it's
I'm
less
inside,
better
yeah.
than every other coast.
I just saw more coast on the West Coast.
Okay. That makes sense. And Ken isn't here today.
Where's Ken?
Unfortunately, so if you're a Chicago Bears fan, which a lot of us here are, this is their season opener today. It's September 11th.
He's a tight end, right?
He was going to be a tight end, but they put in brand new grass, the Bermuda grass, and it's flooding today because of the rain. So Ken is there with a squeegee trying to help the guys out.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's going to do anything, but if anyone gets hurt today, you can blame it on Ken. But we have some very special
I
guests.
really hope nobody gets hurt because this is not going to age well. Then.
I hope no one does too. I mean, I don't really trust the field over there, so we'll see what happens. Well, we have a special group of guests here joining us today. Our first guest is going to be hosting today's game, put it together for us, which we are super appreciative of. Coming to us from Atlanta, Georgia, Anna Savage, Superstar on Patreon. Anna Avato, how are you, Anna?
I'm doing really great. I'm super excited to be here, and thanks for the invite.
Of course. Tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe how you got into the show, and what we have in store for us today.
So I am from Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I've been here 20 years, so I say I'm from Atlanta. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but moved around a lot. I'm a labor union organizer and representative for the second largest union in the country. I'm a big old nerd. I do a lot of tabletop gaming. I play Magic. I do D&D. I LARP. So I'm a poker player and a cigar and bourbon aficionado and a wannabe trivia buff. So I found you guys actually researching podcasts about Star Trek. And then I found your Star Trek episodes, and then I just got hooked listening to everything. So that's how I ended up here with you guys.
That's great. Well, yeah, thank you to our friend Matt Kirk for helping us with those episodes and bringing you aboard. And as far as LARPing, or I'm assuming maybe you do some cosplaying as well, a favorite character or anything like that you love doing?
Probably the best cosplay I ever did was I did a female version of the comedian from Watchmen, and it was awesome. That, or I taught myself how to sew by making Jawa costumes. Literally, I didn't know anything about sewing. I bought a sewing machine and sat and taught myself how to sew, and made Jawa costumes for me and my partner, one of my partners, for like a week, and they were awesome.
Oh, that's great.
So that's literally how I taught myself how to sew. So
we'll have to get some pointers, because maybe for one of our future wagers here, maybe the winning team will get to dress as Jawas. We'll see, and then record an entire episode as Jawas.
You literally are completely covered. So if anyone has claustrophobia, you might. It might be a trigger.
Well, that sounds like fun. Well, thank you so much for putting together today's game. We really appreciate it. And partnering with Matt today as a special guest. We've been trying to get him on the show for a long time, and he's got such an inspiring story. We watched the entire journey that he went through, and just so inspired that he's a listener, and just happy that we're able to hopefully maybe provide some content that puts a smile on his face. But coming to us from New Madrid, Missouri, Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, Pate Hogan. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm happy to be here, guys. I appreciate what you all do for us. To give us the entertainment weekly and bi-weekly and everything you all put out, and the entertainment factor. I don't remember. I assume I've listened to every show. I went back and caught up after the hospital stay even, but I do remember being in the hospital bed and hearing you all break in and tell everybody to pray for me and stuff. And that was really moving. I'm not going to act like any different thing happened. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes that you all took your time out to, dub over and, mention me in that. And I do appreciate that greatly. I think I've been around from the beginning when you all were starting, advertising on the other podcasts and everything else. And just, I'm really happy to be here and play you all. Your trivia is fun. The snarkiness, it's like playing with, my regular trivia buddies, where you just poke fun and make fun, or come up with a silly answer, making fun of somebody. It's not just all serious, it's a good, joyful time.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, we get all of our snark from Matt, who's going to be your partner today, and I know you have a special team name today. I don't know if you want to just give a little quick background about that and what your team name is called and why it's called that.
Well, this time last year, I was laid up in the hospital. I had had a heart attack in the end of August, and fast forward a little bit, right before Labor Day last year, I coded in the hospital for 2 hours. I took 14 paddle shocks and brought me through. And a little while later, they put a device in me. It was doing good. They take it out. I coded again for 40 minutes this time. So now what I basically have attached to me is it's called an LVAD unit. And I walk around, I look like I'm a bomb strapped to me. I've got 8 pounds of batteries in a control unit. I'm hooked to power 24/7, be either batteries or a wall unit. And that LVAD takes the blood from the left side of my heart, puts it over to the right side of my heart, and the right side of my heart pumps it out to the rest of my body and back again. Eventually, I will get a heart transplant, but as long as this works, I'm good to live like this. You make a few adjustments in life, but you learn that above ground is way better than below it. And so when I got the hospital bills in and looking around and everything, the closest total I could come to was $4.5 million is what the raw bills were, what they cost. Insurance, discounts, everything else, I didn't owe that much. So today, mine and Matt's team name will be the $4.5 million Men.
All right. So that means, Matt, you are worth nothing today, except to be a good team member.
It's par for the course.
So we're excited about that. Jeff, what would you like to be today as our team name?
Yeah, I think in comparison, we're gonna have to just be the $0.001 million Men.
All right, which means what, we're worth about $1,000.
Yeah, I think that's about all the
all
the work I've had done.
So I guess listeners, if you just want to get rid of us, I guess just pay us $1,000 and that's it. So awesome. Well, we're super excited for today's game, and let's hear the rules so we can play.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
I am the cream, the cream of the crop.
Very interesting rules read today. It's from someone that we've never heard from before. And I don't know, it was either Kermit the Frog or Boris Yeltsin. I don't know. I can't really
Boris
tell.
Yeltsin's on Cameo?
Well, we're not sure. He was. But anyway, Anna, we're super excited for your game. Feel free to take it away. We'll keep score over here, and let's see how it goes.
Great. So I told you guys that I found this game or your podcast through researching Star Trek podcasts. And I'm a huge Trekkie. And so while this game doesn't have specific Star Trek questions, it is themed after Star Trek. So first question is Kirk. Kirk is a Scottish word for church, more specifically for the Church of Scotland, which separated from the Roman Catholic Church in 1560 during the Protestant Reformation. What Christian denomination is practiced in the Kirk? If you're unsure, ask John Knox.
It's not Johnny Knoxville.
No.
That's not like there's not a jackass denomination.
Oh, there's
Might
plenty
be.
of jackass denomination.
Well,
There might be.
yeah, that's the stuff that doesn't make it to air. But yeah, I don't know. So I think Presbyterian's a good guess.
Yeah, we'll just throw it out there.
Well, you know what? I think in Roadhouse they mentioned the Presbyterians. Emmett mentions them. So let's go with Presbyterian.
Okay, we are going to go Presbyterian.
So points for both teams. It is
All right.
Presbyterian. And John Knox, I heard both of you talking about, well, I don't know who that is. John Knox is the founder of the Presbyterian denomination.
That's why it sounds familiar.
Okay, yeah. So not a fictional character.
And the great-great-grandfather of Johnny
He
Knox.
might have been a jackass like Johnny Knoxville. We don't really know.
I didn't know him. You're right.
I'm John Knox. Welcome to the Church of Presbyterianism. Yeah.
Okay, so question 2, Spock. Dr. Benjamin Spock was an American pediatrician and is best known for his book, Baby and Child Care. Spock attended Yale and studied literature and history. While there, Spock participated in what sport that was one of the original sports in the modern Olympic Games? He was so successful, he made the 1924 U.S. Olympic team that won the gold medal at the 1924 Olympics. This sport was also the first intercollegiate sport held in the United States. So what is the sport that he won gold in?
Okay, we are locked in over here. We'll let you guys talk it out.
Oh, they're locked in quick.
Yeah.
Thinking modern Olympics, collegiate sports in 1924. I don't know how much. Maybe it's golf. Do you think it could potentially be a golf thing?
I mean, golf was in the Olympics. Oh, wait, when did it? It just came back, I guess 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know when the last year before that was. And she did say team.
Right.
And to my knowledge, golf is not in this iteration of golf, it's not a team sport.
You're right.
So I don't know if it's a relay event.
What about like a rowing or?
There could be rowing. Rowing would be a good guess.
It feels like Yale's got a lot of boats. I feel like that could be.
Well, yeah, that, you know what? Going off Yale, let's go. Let's just lock in with rowing.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. We lock in with rowing.
Well, we heard Yale and we heard 1924 and we kind of imagined handsome Dan inside a boat, smiling, and we said rowing.
So points for both teams.
Wow.
Excellent.
The sport was rowing.
Awesome.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah. 2 blind guesses.
So question number 3, bones. The average adult human body has 206 bones. However, as Leonidas may tell you, we're born with more bones than we end up with. As a baby progresses through childhood, many of those bones will fuse together, which means the actual number of bones will decrease. How many bones are the average human born with?
We can lock in.
All right.
Oh, wow. Jeff's the bone man.
Talk about warp speed.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. 300. 300. Yeah. Yeah, 300. Locked in.
I had a feeling it was around that number, but she said you'd ask Leonidas, and this is Sparta, so we said 300.
Points for both teams. It's 300.
That's crazy.
Wow. That was a great clue on your end there, too. But you both just guessed on that, 300?
I mean, I've known it. My daughter will tell me all the time about, the number of bones and stuff like that. When she learns things, she's 10. Things, and it's just little things that
10-year-olds just tell you things.
I feel like that was the last time I knew a
You're
lot.
a 5th grader, right?
Yeah.
Great clue in
She is
there.
in 5th grade.
All right. So question number 4, Scotty. 2 Americans embark on a hunting trip in Scotland and discover a quaint magical village that only appears for a day once every 100 years. This is the plot of What MGM Musical? The title is also the name of the village. And no, Stewie, it's not Ralph from Happy Days.
We can lock in over here.
Okay, so me and Pate are discussing, and there's not much to discuss because we don't know anything about this. So we're gonna lock in with the wonderful musical, The $6 Million Man, starring Steve Austin.
That sounds like a great musical, especially if they recast it with Stone Cold Steve Austin. We knew this one right away. I knew it because Colleen was in it, and I've seen it before, but I've seen the movie as well. And in a bad Scottish accent, Brigadoon. That's what we locked in with.
And points to one team. It is Brigadoon. And my Family Guy reference is because there's a whole episode that is parodying Brigadoon. And it's hilarious. It's a hilarious episode with Ralph from Happy Days.
Mm.
So
Never heard of it, so don't feel bad about that one.
Okay, so moving on for question number 5, Chekhov. From 1948 to 1989, the country formerly known as Czechoslovakia was part of the Soviet bloc. In 1989, as communist governments all over Eastern Europe were dissolving, the Czechoslovakian people smoothly defabricated their government in a revolution that was called the What Revolution?
We are going to go ahead and lock in.
Oh man, one of you guys is 100% on all of these, but it goes back and forth. So I can't wait for the movie question next.
You're smooth as silk. You're
Oh, okay. Is that a name of a thing?
well, I mean, I don't know if it's the name of the thing or not, but I mean, she said it went smoothly,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't know what else is
There's a lot
your
of smooth things, though. Smooth
I mean,
criminals.
you know,
Smooth. I don't know what else, actually. Well, defabricated and fabric. Silk is a fabric.
silk.
Yeah. I think we're going to go with the Silk Revolution.
I think you guys are on to the right track, but I kind of remember this being called the Velvet Revolution, so that's what we locked in with.
So points to one team.
All right.
It was the Velvet Revolution, but you were on the right track. You were very, very close. So
We'll get there.
good deducting there.
Well, it looks like after 5 questions, Team $4.5 million men are at 30, respectable, and Team $0.001 million men are batting perfect. I don't know if we're going to continue to prosper, if you get my drift, for the rest of the game, Jeff. But we're at 50 points right now, and I was telling Jeff when he wrote down velvet that, like George Costanza, we both want to be wearing or be draped in velvet if it's socially acceptable. So, yeah, there you go, Matt. A little Seinfeld reference for you.
I think you guys would look awesome in velvet.
Thank you.
Velvet for everyone. So moving on to question 6, Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc Godard was a pioneer of the 1960s French New Wave film movement and is arguably the most influential French filmmaker of the 20th century. His most commercially successful film was titled Contempt. Who was the famous French actress who starred in that film?
We can lock in.
Surprise.
Matt, are you a soothsayer over there calling a film question like
I
that?
thought it was hilarious when he was like, next we're going to have a movie question.
Yeah, I can see the future, but I can't do anything about it. It's my curse.
Ooh, that's an interesting superpower.
That was the plot to Early Edition, wasn't it? Or maybe he was supposed to do something.
Oh no,
I
he
don't
got
know.
the paper and he tried to change the world.
Oh,
You know, Gary did his best with the cat.
yeah. And then, right.
Yeah, I've got no. I don't know. You could
You don't know any
put 3
French
names on a board, and I wouldn't be able to name a French actress.
Oh, Gal Gadot sounds French, and she was in that
Perfect.
1960s movie,
There you go.
Wonder Woman. Never ages. Amazing.
Yeah.
We locked in with Gal Gadot.
So they went with Gal Gadot.
Sounds close.
Yeah, it's very, very close, actually. It rhymes. This is one of France's, I guess, cinematic bombshells, for lack of a better term, but Brigitte Bardot is who we locked in with.
And points for one team. It's Bridget Bardot.
Mm. See, that's my actual superpower is I could see the future, but only in rhymes, and that doesn't actually doesn't help at all.
At least I've heard of that person.
I would
there you go.
pay a $15 matinee to see that movie.
I had
matinee. That's
I had film school PTSD as soon as you were like Jean-Luc Godard, and I was like, no. So luckily I knew it.
Okay, so moving on to question 7, Will. Will Wheaton has had quite a bit of commercial success with movies like Stand By Me, TV shows such as Star Trek The Next Generation and The Big Bang Theory, voice acting roles in Teen Titans, and an audiobook narrator narrating such titles as Ready Player One. He also had a recurring role on an amazing sci-fi channel series that aired from 2006 to 2012. What was the name of the show? And for 5 bonus points, what was the name of the character that he played?
All right, I think we are locked in.
Okay, so they're locked in, Jeff. This one's a little confusing because the only shows I really watched on Sci-Fi were the makeup show Face Off, but which I know he wasn't on that. It was a reality TV show. And my first college roommate was obsessed with a show called Farscape, but I believe it had been on the air for many years before my freshman year, so it's definitely not that. So I'm not sure if you have any other ideas.
Yeah, thinking about it, I want to say Eureka is another one.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, I used to watch Eureka all the time. That totally was on. Was that Sci-Fi or USA? I think it was Sci-Fi.
It's hard for me to remember the difference, honestly, sometimes between those two. I don't know why.
2006, 2012.
Does that make sense time-wise?
Yes, because I watched all of Eureka now. That I always forget when it aired. But yeah, I think Eureka would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to go with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. That's what we're locking in with.
Yeah, when I was in Los Angeles, I wrote a trivia round based on the state and around their state motto, Eureka. And I believe that's the answer to this question. So we said Eureka.
So points for both teams. It is Eureka. It sounds like neither one of you took a guess to the name of the character that
Rob.
he played for the extra bonus questions.
Just Rob. That's what we said.
Just Rob. Okay, so the character that Will Wheaton played was Dr. Isaac Parrish.
Okay.
So, and yeah, that's one of my favorite shows of all time is Eureka. So
it's really underrated show for sure.
Absolutely. Very, very good show. So, so glad you guys got that. So question number 8, Data. Brent Spiner is famous for his portrayal of the android Data in the Star Trek universe. However, prior to taking up the bench as Data, from 1985 to 1987, he appeared 7 times in a recurring role on what sitcom starring Harry Anderson, John Larroquette, and Richard Mole?
Jeff wrote down a answer, and I agree with him, so we're going to lock in over here.
Nice.
Harry Anderson, John Larroquette, and I mean, did you give the years of the
85 to 87? So that's got to be Night Court, right?
I'd say yes, that's Night Court.
Yeah, we know our John Larroquette over here. We're locking in with Night Court.
I know my Harry Andersons.
I don't think we're objecting to that, Jeff. What do you think?
No, we sustained the same answer and said Night Court.
I love John Larroquette, and it is Night Court, which is a fantastic show.
Underrated show.
Absolutely. Great. So question 9, Troy. Troy was an ancient city that was the setting for the Trojan War, famously depicted in Homer's epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey. In legend, the city of Troy was besieged for 10 years and eventually conquered by a Greek army led by King Agamemnon. If Troy were still standing, in what modern country would it be located?
We can lock in.
Oh, wow. And just for the record, Anna, initially I thought you were talking about the Will Friedle, Jennifer Love Hewitt classic Trojan War from 1997, but it's definitely about the war.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you loved Jennifer Love Hewitt when you were a kid, you've seen all the movies, good or bad. So that's how I remember that one.
Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at
Greece.
those, Greece, Turkey, all those, and I mean, Greece is just too obvious. I like Turkey.
Yeah, I'm more of a ham person myself, but we can lock in with turkey.
Yeah, you're quite a bit of a ham. We agree. We said Turkey.
Points for both teams. I'm also more of a ham person, but this country is Turkey. Very good.
Triviality, the podcast where you come for trivia and answers, but you get side tangents about nonsense.
Food-based puns.
Yes.
So moving on to question 10, the last question before the swing round. This is Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf is one of San Francisco's most popular tourist attractions. It's known for Ghirardelli Square, San Francisco Maritime Museum, the Cannery Shopping Center, and it is famous for what pier? If you aren't certain, I'm sure NFL Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP Larry Kasanka could tell you.
Okay, it looks like $4.5 million men are locked in. So we tried going at it from the angle of Larry Zonka, but not too familiar with that player.
I don't know why, but like the first thing that came to mind for me was like Pier 52. But I feel like that car. I'm thinking of Car 52.
Oh yeah, okay. And I don't know the number that he wore. And then I'm sure I don't know much about San Francisco, but I was just trying to think if there's like a movie reference to this. I'm not sure if this pier was in Vertigo or not, but I don't know. What do you want to go with then? 52? I mean, I don't know who he was. He sounds like a linebacker with a name like that, but I could be way off.
Well, that's a linebacker-ish number, right?
Okay, let's go with 52.
Ooh, Larry Zonka, actually a fullback. And you're on the right track with the numbers, but Pate, what number was Larry Zonka?
39.
So we said Pier 39.
Points for one team. It is Pier 39.
Nice.
And Matt, I had to throw in some kind of sports reference for you there because sports is probably the category that I am least good at. So I tried to throw in a sports reference for you there.
Well, I appreciate it. And I believe that Pier 52 is actually a seafood restaurant. So I think that's where you might know that number from.
It could be.
Jeff's just hungry. It looks like after the first round here, the $4.5 million men picked up some points in the second half. They picked up an extra 40 points, bringing their total to 70.
And we just missed our first question of the whole game. So
that's insane. Wow. So we have 90 over here. So we're at 90 to 70 going into the swing round. And right before we hear what Anna has in store for us, just wanted to thank all of our patrons on Patreon for helping make the show possible, letting us do a bunch of extra episodes a month and doing all the fun things we get to do, including the support from Anna and Pate. It's just been fun getting a chance to not only record 4 main feed episodes a month, which are around an hour long, but getting the main feed bonus and then the 2 Patreon bonuses. So for a total, I guess, of 7 episodes a month that we've been putting out. And we haven't missed
more
one.
If there's a 5th Tuesday in the month.
True. That's true. And without the patrons' help, we wouldn't be able to have the record we've had where we haven't missed an episode yet, which is, it gets kind of hard. We could go to a repeat or not if
Once
we needed
in a while,
to. But
I forget to post and we're a day or two behind, but we haven't missed one.
We haven't missed one, correct? Yes.
Jeff with his crop drops that come out 2 months later. Let me see how it is.
A day or two.
Just expect some questions about June in the next crop drop for October. Thank you to all of our patrons for helping us out. And if you'd like to join Pate and Anna for all those extra audio perks as well as some other little things here and there, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast.
So for the swing round, because I have an overall Star Trek theme, what I'm going to do is there's been dozens and dozens of famous celebrities who have guest starred on some variation of a Star Trek show. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you some roles that these celebrities are famous for, and I want you to figure out who the celebrity is for 5 points. And for an extra bonus point, which Star Trek series did they guest star in? So there's a potential of 60 points in this swing round. Just for you guys to know, the bonus points will be the series are the original series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, and Discovery. I don't have anything in here from Picard, Strange New Worlds, or Lower Decks.
Okay.
Just for you guys, just as a little sidebar.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. That'll be helpful.
So just as an example, if I give you roles like Trevor, Michael Stearns, Dwight Schrute, the answer would be Rainn Wilson, and for the bonus point would be Discovery.
Oh, okay.
Just as an example.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw
So-
that casting. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was great. Harry Mudd.
Yeah, Harry Mudd.
Fantastic. So I'll just get started, and I'll start with number 1. Claudia, Amy March, Torrance Shipman. Number 2, Wilhelmina Slater, Renee Perry, and for a brief time, Miss America 1984. Number 3, Bubbles McGee, Evie Gallant, the Grand Duchess Alexandra of Oxford, Alexis Carrington. Number 4, Spencer Strasmore, Maui, Hobbs. Number 5, Ed Mercer, Dick Rogers, Brian Griffin. Number 6, Lil Rummy, The Caterpillar, Belvedere Ricketts. Number 7, Lois Lane, Susan Meyer Delfino, Sidra Holland. Number 8, former minority leader of the Georgia House of Representatives, 2020 keynote speaker for the Democratic National Convention, and the first African-American woman to deliver a response to the State of the Union address. Number 9, John Cavill, Edward Sheffield, Al Calavici. Number 10, Asher Friedman, Philip Stuckey, George Costanza.
Okay, those are all the clues for the swing round. We will mull these over and be right back with our answers. All the answers are locked in from the swing round. We'll see how we did with these celebrity cameos in different Star Trek shows. So, Anna, let's hear those clues one more time, and we'll give our answers.
Great. So, clue number 1, Claudia, Amy March, and Torrance Shipman.
So starting over here, the only name we clued in on was Amy March, which we believe is from Little Women, and we couldn't figure out if it was like the Winona Ryder era Little Women or the new one that Greta Gerwig did, which we're not sure which character Amy is. We couldn't remember if it was Winona Ryder, like Kirsten Dunst, Florence Pugh. So we just said Winona Ryder, and we said that it was Next Gen.
It's funny you say Kirsten Dunst because I believe her character I'm bringing on was named Torrance, and that's based 100% what I'm basing this on. So he said Kirsten Dunst and Deep Space Nine.
So you guys picked up on the Torrance Shipman reference from Bring It On. The correct answer is Kirsten Dunst.
Oh my God.
Winona Ryder was Jo March in that rendition of Little Women. And actually, what's funny is that one team got original points, which was the 5 points for Kirsten Dunst. But the series that Kirsten Dunst, as a child, guest starred on was The Next Generation.
Oh, nice. So we'll get 1 point?
Yes, 1 point.
Do we get the bonus if we don't get the...
Yeah, that's
yes.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, I mean, sure, you're already beating us so bad. Let's take you, just extend your lead.
So, number 2 was Wilhelmina Slater, Renee Perry, and for a brief time, Miss America 1984.
As soon as you say Miss America, Neal knows.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. How'd we get this one?
So Colleen loves Ugly Betty. I've seen it multiple times with her, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Vanessa Williams. So he said Vanessa Williams, and we also went Next Gen on that one.
We too got it off the 1984 Miss America and said Vanessa Williams and went Next Gen.
So it is Vanessa Williams. And she guest starred actually on Deep Space Nine. So number 3, Bubbles McGee, Evie Gallant, the Grand Duchess Alexandra of Oxford, and Alexis Carrington.
This one, it took us a long time. It took us the longest out of all of them. I didn't really recognize too much of the names, but Jeff was like, it sounds like a soap opera character, Alexis Carrington. And we were saying soap operas, and we're like, oh, Dynasty is kind of a soap opera, and we just know the most famous person on Dynasty is Joan Collins. We knew we needed an older actor or actress for the OG reference, so we went Joan Collins.
Yeah, we were right there with you. We 100% knew it and said Bubbles the monkey.
It is Joan Collins. I had to pull from some old school actors and actresses for the original series because the original series aired September 8th of 1966. So folks had to be famous actors at that time to guest star on the original series. But yes, Alexis Carrington, I figured the other ones were deep dives, and Alexis Carrington might be the most recognizable character that Joan Collins played. So good job there. So number 4, Spencer Strassmore, Maui, and Hobbs.
Yep. This was one I knew right away between Maui and Hobbs. And we said Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And we thought maybe he was on, we said Discovery?
DS9.
Oh, we said DS9.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you said DS9.
DS9.
We also knew it from Maui when you have a 10-year-old and Hobbs. So we also said Dwayne Johnson, and we also said Deep Space Nine.
So points for both teams for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. However, he was not on DS9. He was on Voyager. So ready for number 5? It was Ed Mercer, Dick Rogers, Brian Griffin.
This one we just knew from Brian Griffin. We believe that's Seth Green, and we just guessed Voyager.
I thought Brian was actually played by Seth MacFarlane, so we said Seth MacFarlane and Voyager.
The correct answer is Seth MacFarlane, and he guest starred on Enterprise. And if anybody knows anything about Seth MacFarlane, he's a huge Trekkie, to the point that he created his own sort of parody to honor Star Trek called
The Orville.
The Orville.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Orville.
Yes, and he was on Enterprise.
Oh, Brian's the dog. I was thinking it was the brother. Okay. That was my bad.
Yeah,
and
Chris
actually,
is
Ed Mercer is his character on The Orville.
Oh, okay.
So, points to one team. The bonus, neither one of you got. So, moving on to number 6, which I think is probably the hardest one, but to me also the most interesting one. Number 6, Lil Rummy, The Caterpillar, and Belvedere Ricketts.
This one we had no idea. I was trying to think of who played the caterpillar in the TV movie version of Alice in Wonderland. I couldn't remember. And we just said it was a rapper Lil Yachty, and we said it was he was on the original Star Trek, Lil Yachty in the time machine.
We also approached it from the Caterpillar, and I was, well, in my head, Sammy Davis Jr.'s smile is the Caterpillar in that show. So we said Sammy Davis Jr. and the original.
So points to neither team. This was Iggy Pop, who is the godfather of punk rock. And he was the caterpillar in Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. So again, that's sort of a deep dive. But the other thing is the show that he guest starred in, and he actually had a recurring role because he did more than one time. He was on DS9.
Okay. I had no idea Iggy Pop was on it. That's funny.
Yes. So number 7, Lois Lane, Susan Meyer Delfino, and Sidra Holland.
Yep. We thought this was Terry Hatcher, and we said Next Generation.
We also thought that this was Terry Hatcher. And then we had Discovery.
It is Terry Hatcher.
All right.
They are real and they're fabulous. And this was Next Generation. So points to Neal and Jeff or the bonus point to Neal and Jeff for that one. So number 8, former minority leader of the Georgia House of Representatives, 2020 keynote speaker for the Democratic National Convention, and the first African-American woman to deliver a response to the State of the Union address.
Yep, we thought this was Stacey Abrams, and if we're correct, that's super cool. And we said Discovery.
We also said Stacey Abrams, but we put DS9 because we had no clue.
It is Stacey Abrams, the woman who will be governor of Georgia, coming up soon if I have anything to say about it. And she guest starred in Discovery in the last season finale of the Discovery as the basically the president of the Earth planet, so of the Federation. So that was such a fun episode to watch, and to watch Stacey Abrams, who's a huge Trekkie also. So good job on getting Stacey Abrams, and for Neal and Jeff, you got the bonus point for Discovery. Number 9, John Cavill, Edward Sheffield, Al Calavici.
This one we weren't too sure on. The name sounded old school, so we went with original Star Trek just to get some more original in there. And we said this was Vincent Price.
Al Calavici sounded familiar to me. I thought that was the guy from Quantum Leap because I just saw that they're rebooting it. And Pate knew that was Dean Stockwell. So we said Dean Stockwell and original, whatever it's called, Enterprise, I guess.
So full points to Matt and Pate, who got Dean Stockwell, Enterprise. And yeah, I had to put a Dean Stockwell Quantum Leap reference in there because I'm super excited about the reboot for Quantum Leap to see what happens. But yes, Dean Stockwell, he guest starred with his good buddy from Quantum Leap on Enterprise. So number 10, Asher Friedman, Philip Stuckey, and George Costanza.
This one, we had to mention Jason Alexander. So we said Jason Alexander, and I believe we went with Deep Space Nine.
We also went with Jason Alexander, but we said Discovery.
It is Jason Alexander, so points for both teams. However, he guest starred in Voyager.
After the swing round, it looks like both teams picking up some good points there to go into the second round. $4.5 million men are picking up 41 points, bringing their total to 111. And $0.001 million men picking up 34 points, bringing their total to 124. So the game is much tighter than it has been before, and we're excited for the second round. So let's see what we have in store, Anna.
Great. So round 2, question 1, Cisco. Before coming to fame in his solo career in the year 2000 with songs like The Thong Song and Incomplete, hip-hop artist Cisco was the lead singer of what R&B, soul, and gospel group formed in the 1990s?
Neal had this locked in immediately, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we're locked in.
All right. I'm pretty sure I know what it is too. Pate, do you know this one?
It's not coming right to me, but when you say it, I know it.
Oh, yeah. They did backups on the Wild Wild West song with Big Will and Drew Hill. So
Yeah,
Drew
Drew
Hill's the
Hill.
answer.
We locked in not with Dule Hill of Psych and West Wing fame, but Drew Hill. So we also said the same thing.
Points to both teams. It is Drew Hill. So, round 2, question 2, quark. A quark is a type of elementary particle and a fundamental constituent of matter. Quarks combine to form composite particles called hadrons. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest and highest energy particle collider. It was built by the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or CERN, to help answer some of the fundamental open questions in physics. The collider lays in a tunnel beneath the French-Swiss border near Geneva. Within 2 miles, what is the approximate circumference of the Large Hadron Collider?
There's a particle accelerator in Illinois at Fermilab, I believe.
Yep.
And I know about how big that one is, because it's a pretty good sized plot of land. I think that one's maybe 5 or 10 miles across.
Okay.
So I could see this one being 15.
All right. Yeah,
It's enormous.
It is enormous. Let's go 15 miles circumference. That'll be our locked in answer.
So we were talking and guessed, and obviously the great game theory says that 2 miles means it's got to be a low number, and we also said 15.
Nice.
So points to both teams because it is 17 miles in circumference. And so the acceptable answers were between 15 and 19. So both teams gets it.
Wow. That is huge, though.
It is. Round 2, question 3, Keira. Academy Award nominated Keira Knightley came to fame for roles in movies like Bend It Like Beckham, Pirates of the Caribbean, Love Actually, and Pride and Prejudice. However, in 1999, at age 14 years old, she was cast in a small role in what Hollywood science fiction blockbuster?
We can lock in over here.
1999 was The Phantom Menace.
Oh, maybe she was a pod racer. I don't know. Let's go with the Phantom.
But the way she's fantasy, small part, whatever. But I mean,
Oh yeah, let's do
1990 is definitely The Phantom Menace.
All right, then let's do Phantom Menace.
Neal, correct me if I'm wrong, but she played Princess Amidala, sort of. Right?
Sort of, yeah. I think she was like her double or something like that.
I kind of remember her in that role in The Phantom Menace, episode 1. So
we said the same thing.
So points for both teams. It is Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and she was Princess Amidala's handmaiden and played her body double.
Nice, Paul. I always forget she's in that.
I actually just saw the first or 3, episodes 1, 2, 3, within the last year because I had never seen them. I'd heard so many terrible things, I avoided them. They're meh. But I had to say I did it.
Funny thing is, she never actually spoke during the movie. Any words that she actually spoke was actually Natalie Portman doing her voice.
Oh, interesting.
So she really was just the body double.
Wow.
Okay, so moving forward to round 2, question 4, Janeway. Jane Austen was an English novelist known primarily for her 6 major novels, which interpret, critique, and comment upon the British high society at the end of the 18th century. Austen's plots often explore the dependence of women on marriage for social standing and for basic survival. For 10 points, name 4 of Austen's 6 novels, and for an additional 5 bonus points, name all 6.
Okay, so the other team is locked in. Jeff, you and I had a discussion. Colleen's directing Emma for the fall play this year, so I knew that one for sure. And then you said the other 3, I think, that are correct?
Yeah, I knew about Emma for that reason as well. We said Pride and Prejudice, which most people know, Sense and Sensibility, and the other one that I thought of was Persuasion.
Yeah, we don't know. We got 2.
Yeah, we got 2.
Good job to Jeff and Neal. The correct answers are Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, Persuasion, and Northanger Abbey.
I have not heard of those other two.
I've never heard of Northanger Abbey.
Yeah, Northanger Abbey is probably the least well known, and I think it was actually the last book that Jane Austen wrote. All right, so round 2, question 5. Kim. Chloe Kim is an American snowboarder and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. She is a 6-time X Games gold medalist and the first woman to win 2 gold medals in snowboarding at the Winter Youth Olympics. She is the World Olympic, Youth Olympic, and X Games champion in the halfpipe and the first to win the title at all 4 major events. In March 2022, after her success at the Beijing Winter Olympics, she was added as a playable character in which popular video game series?
We are locked in over here. Feel free to take it away.
Well, as far as I know, in 2022, there is only 2 video games, Minecraft and Fortnite. And I don't think that she's a blocky character in Minecraft. So I think we can lock in with Fortnite.
Yes, that did ring a bell when you said it.
And Jeff?
Yeah, we agree. We thought what games have come out or could be updated in the last year, and we said Fortnite.
Points to both teams. It is Fortnite.
Okay, it looks like team $4.5 million men picking up 40 points, bringing their total to 151 after 5, and team $0.001 million men picking up 50 points, bringing their total to 174.
Great. So moving forward, round 2, question 6, Paris. This largest square in Paris was originally called the Place de Louis XV, when a large statue of the king was placed there in 1763. In 1792, during the French Revolution, the statue was removed and replaced with another called Liberté, and it became known as the Place de la Révolution. A guillotine was placed in the square, and 1,119 people were beheaded there, including Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. It was known as several other names until 1830, when it was renamed this. What is the name of this famous Parisian landmark? I wonder if Jermaine Clement and Brett McKenzie have ever been there.
The hippopotamus. Yeah, it's got to be that for that clue. Yeah, let's lock in with that. Yeah, we're locked in.
Do you have any idea, Pate?
Flight of the Concorde?
Yeah, that is the show.
So, I mean, should we just call it Concorde?
Yeah.
Square?
Concord Square.
Concord Octagon?
That sounds like some sort of UFC arena.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's yeah. Oh, we'll lock in with Concorde.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same thought. Jeff wrote down Concorde. The great clue there was Flight of the Concorde, so it's hopefully got to be named Concorde. That's what we said.
Yeah, only fear is it's Concorde of something, but we just said Concorde.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give points to both teams. It's Place de la Concorde.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Good job, picking up that reference. It's one of those things that either you know Flight of the Conchords or you don't. So yeah, good getting.
I'm David Bowie. If you know the show, it'll make sense.
Right. So round 2, question 7. There are 7 basic musical notes, namely do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and ti. A ladybug commonly has 7 spots. Most mammals' necks have 7 bones. The number of rows in the periodic table is 7. The neutral pH value that lies between acidity and alkalinity is 7. 7 has many significance. There are 7 seas, 7 days of the week, 7 wonders of the world, and 7 deadly sins. What are the 7 celestial objects in our solar system that can be seen with the naked eye? Name 5 of them for full points and all 7 for a bonus 5 points.
I think so far we've locked in with, we're pretty sure it's the sun, the moon, Mars, and Venus. And now we're debating between Mercury and I think Saturn. I think Saturn's good. I think I've seen Saturn before.
Yeah, I think Saturn's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's if we're going to say, well, hold on. So we got Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, Saturn, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt us. Let's just say Jupiter and Mercury.
Yeah. That's it. Those are our 7.
Cool. Those are our 7.
For points, we also said Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, and then we said Jupiter. And then we just guessed for the extra 2, we said Mercury and Saturn.
Full points for both teams, including the bonus. You guys got all 7. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are the 7 celestial objects in our solar system that can be seen with the naked eye.
Was that a bonus 1 or 5?
5.
It was 1 for y'all, 10 for us. It was a makeup question.
Okay, I can play by those rules.
So, round 2, question 8, Archer. Archer is an American adult animated sitcom created by Adam Reed for FX. The show follows the exploits of 8 dysfunctional secret agents and supporting staff of the International Secret Intelligence Service, or ISIS. The group follows the exploits of Sterling Archer, the show's narcissistic, womanizing protagonist, and his co-workers, including his mother, Mallory Archer, and his love interest and baby mama, Lana Kane. What Emmy award-winning American actress, comedian, director, and talk show host voices Lana Kane? And for 5 bonus points, what is the name of Lana and Archer's daughter?
Okay, Jeff, I know the actress. I don't watch Archer, but I'm almost positive this is who it would be.
She's a great guess.
And we'll just guess on the daughter then.
All right, Pate, are you a big Archer person?
I am not.
Oh, well, I do happen to know that this is former host of The Soup, Aisha Taylor. 99% sure. I have no idea about the name of the daughter. Well, let's go with the name of H. John Benjamin's other daughter and say Tina.
So we, Matt, I think added an extra A in the last name there, but I think he should get points for it. We said Aisha Tyler, and for the daughter, we said Millicent.
So it is Aisha Tyler. And so I agree, points for both teams. And for the bonus, her name is Abby Jean.
Oh, okay.
Abby Jean Kane Archer.
Abby Jean Kane Archer. Yeah, it is.
For number 9 is Michael. So in the television series The Office, Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell, is the regional manager of the Scranton branch of the paper company Dunder Mifflin, LLC. He has his fair share of romantic relations, one of which was Carol, Michael's real estate agent turned girlfriend, played by real-life wife Nancy Walls Carell. In season 3 of The Office, Michael Scott publicly proposes marriage to Carol on what Festival of Lights holiday celebrated by more than 1 billion people worldwide?
We can lock in. Neal and I, we're in that same kind of sphere together. So,
you're going to propose to me in the sphere of lights?
No. It's it's a joke from The Office.
Oh, okay. Oh, I trust you because I have no idea. So, let's lock in.
Oh, it is Diwali. He does a delightful Adam Sandler parody at the end about Diwali.
Oh, okay.
Put on your saris. It's time for Diwali, I believe. And we're locked in.
And we agree. Very insensitively called the Hindu Halloween. We said Diwali.
Points for both teams. Great reference, Matt. Yes, Diwali. It's a festival of lights and one of the major festivals celebrated by Hindus, Jains, and Sikhs in India. It's a 5-day celebration that's observed every year in early autumn after the conclusion of the summer harvest, and it coincides with the new moon, and it's deemed the darkest night of the Hindu loony solar calendar. Yes, Diwali. And that's a great episode of The Office. All right. So, last question of regulation, question 10, Georgia, where I live, is the 8th most populous state in the U.S. and the 4th state to join the Union, and is ripe with historical significance. It is the home of former President Jimmy Carter. It was the headquarters of the Civil Rights Movement and home to famous civil rights leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Congressman John Lewis, and the UN Ambassador Andrew Young. It's also the home of many Fortune 500 companies, including Coca-Cola, UPS, Home Depot, and Aflac. In 1793, it was also the home to an invention that revolutionized a major industry in the United States, but also led to the growth of slavery in the American South. This invention is credited with being an inadvertent contributing factor to the outbreak of the American Civil War. What is the invention? And for 5 bonus points, who invented it?
This is the only thing I ever learned in grade school.
Don't worry.
We're locked
I
in
got
on
it.
both.
Yeah. Pate, what is this?
It's the cotton gin and Eli Whitley.
Mm-hmm.
And we said Eli Whitney and the cotton gin.
Points for both teams. It is the cotton gin and Eli Whitney. That was one of these. This was one of those questions that I wasn't sure was very regionally based or something that folks across the U.S. learned.
No, it's something that you learn in grade school and can remember for the rest of your life for some reason. Everybody knows that. It's just something that you learned.
Good job.
What an exciting second half of the second round. Both teams picking up full points, including bonuses on every question, each getting 60 points, meaning that the $4.5 million men picking up 60, bringing their total to 211 going into the final round. And the $0.001 million men picking up 60 as well, bringing their total to 234. So it's still anyone's game. What are our final round categories, Anna?
Final round categories: Enterprise, Discovery, Voyager, Defiant, and Cerritos.
All the wagers are now locked in, and just for the listeners at home, both teams have set their phasers to all in. So that's what we're doing. 30 points down for every question. So let's hear those questions.
Okay. Number 1, Enterprise. Sure, they want you to think they're a benevolent tech company with a charismatic, bald yoga practicing leader, but really, they want to hijack your food production machine, kill all your mutant vegetable animal hybrid life forms, and make a profit. The clue is in the name, people. Flip that logo around and you have the name of this evil company from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Number 2, Discovery. The Discovery Channel began broadcasting in 1985 and focused on documentary television programming focused primarily on popular science, technology, and history. Since the 2010s, it has expanded into reality television and pseudo-scientific entertainment. One of its most popular shows of all time was this science entertainment television program. The show's original hosts were special effects experts who used elements of the scientific method to test the validity of rumors, myths, and movie scenes. What was the name of this popular series? Number 3, Voyager. The Voyager program is an American scientific program that employs 2 robotic interstellar probes, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. On launch, Voyager 1 was to go to Jupiter and Saturn, and Voyager 2 to Uranus and Neptune. to gather scientific data to transmit back to Earth. 12 years after launch, both Voyager probes had completed their primary mission. So the mission evolved and the Voyager interstellar mission began. The main objective of the VIM, or Voyager Interstellar Mission is to extend the exploration of the solar system beyond the outer planets to the outer limit, and if possible, even beyond. As of today, the Voyagers are still in operation past the outer boundary of the heliosphere in interstellar space. They literally have gone where no one has gone before. As of today, within a year, how long have both probes been in operation? Number 4, Defiant. He was an openly gay African-American leader in social movements for civil rights, economic justice, nonviolence, and gay rights. He challenged the labor union movement to desegregate. He helped leaders like Dr. King and Rosa Parks organize the Montgomery bus boycott and taught them the principles of nonviolence that he learned from Gandhi's teachings. He later served as one of the primary organizers for the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, where Dr. King gave his I Have a Dream speech. He organized the Freedom Rides through the South to challenge segregation, organized the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to strengthen Martin Luther King's leadership and bring church leaders together to fight for civil and economic rights throughout the South. During the 70s and 80s, he aided refugees from around the world, escaping war and poverty, and the last years of his life, he fought for LGBTQ rights and acceptance. Who was this often forgotten, unsung hero who helped change history? And number 5, Cerritos. Cerritos, California is a city in Los Angeles County, California, and is one of several cities that constitute the gateway cities of Southeast Los Angeles County. As of 2020, its population was 49,578. What does Cerritos mean in Spanish?
And are you able to spell that just for the listeners and ourselves?
Sure. Cerritos is Cerritos. And it's the name of the ship in Lower Decks.
Okay.
Cool.
We will go over these and be back with our answers. Looks like all the teams are now locked in. So we'll go back to Anna, and feel free just to give a little condensed version of what we're looking for, and we'll give our answers and see how this shakes out.
Great. So number 1, Enterprise. They want you to think they're a benevolent tech company, but what is the name of the evil company from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Jeff, did you have an idea on this one, or not really? We were trying to figure it out.
No.
I don't remember the movie. I think I maybe have seen it once. We just initially heard bald, benevolent CEO or whatever. We thought it was Amazon backwards, so we said it was Nozama. Amazon backwards. That's our guess.
Evil backwards is Live. So since they're an evil company, we said Live Corp.
And you guys got the clue. It is Live Corp.
Wow.
Don't know how I missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the movie, I don't know how I missed it.
So number 2, Discovery. The Discovery Channel's been broadcasting since 1985, and it's focused, or primarily was focused on documentary television programming. What I want to know is what one of its most popular shows of all time was, which was a science fiction or science entertainment television program whose hosts were special effects experts who used elements of the scientific method to test the validity of rumors, myths, movie scenes, internet videos, and news stories. What was the name of the popular series?
Yeah, we said this had to be, the Mythbusters.
Yep. Who are you going to call them? Mythbusters. We said Mythbusters.
That's right. Points to both teams. It's Mythbusters. One of the greatest television shows in history. I learned so much from that show. I just loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So number 3, Voyager. Basically, the two probes that were launched, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, they've been out in space. They've literally gone where no one is Gone Before. And what I want to know is, as of today, within a year, how long have the Voyager probes been in operation?
Well, we figured it's the answer to life, liberty, and no, that's not even right. Everything. We just guessed 42.
Well, several great things happened in 1977. They launched the Voyager probes, and I was also born. So it's 45 years.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
They are correct. I was also born in 1977. And so, yes, they've been in operation for 45 years.
Oh, so close.
Number 4, I want to know who was the openly gay African-American leader in social movements for civil rights, economic justice, nonviolence, and LGBTQ rights. He made major impacts in our society and in history, and he is an often forgotten, unsung hero who helped change the world. Do you guys have any idea who this is?
So I was doing some research a while back for a question. I can't remember the first name at all, but I believe the person's last name is Rustin. So that's what we locked in with, was Rustin.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was forgotten by us as well. We had no idea, but sounds like an amazing person. So we can't wait to learn more.
Neal and Jeff got it. It is Bayard Rustin.
Wow.
Nice job, Neal.
And
Bayard. Okay.
frankly, I don't think the civil rights movement would have been as successful if without him. Same thing with the LGBTQ movement, because really he was integral in building that movement, particularly in the 1980s. So,
I mean, just the resume you listed was so impressive. So yeah, I think you're completely right.
So I hope everybody that's listening will go back and look up who Bayard Rustin is and learn about him, because he was amazing. So, number 5, Cerritos. Cerritos, California is a city in Los Angeles County, California. It's one of several cities that constitute the gateway cities of Southeast Los Angeles County. What does Cerritos mean in Spanish?
Yeah, took a guess here. Figured Ito meant little, and what is there little of in that area? We said that maybe that a bunch of little hills.
Seems like you guys know your stuff, because I'm almost 100% sure that's Little Hills.
It is Little Hills.
Well, after doing the math, it was a crazy final here with great questions, big wagers. And from our math here, it looks like Team $0.001 million men only picking up 30 points, bringing their total to 264, but picking up 60 points, bringing their total to 301, breaking the 300-point barrier, are the $4.5 million men, and you are today's cream of the crop.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
They picked up 90, Neal. But,
what did I say? 60?
You are correct. The math is still correct. They did get 301.
Neal, you have to show your work, actually.
So congratulations, guys.
Hey.
You were so afraid since we were leading from the get-go that you didn't have it, but it always comes down to the final. It's anybody's game, so.
Yeah, great job. 301 points. What a great score. Let's start with Anna. Just wonderful questions, wide-ranging, all over the board, different topics and categories. So we appreciate you putting it together, and we loved having you here. Anyone you'd like to shout out? Any final words? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I just want to say, first and foremost, this has been amazing. So thank you guys for having me here. I also want to give a shout out to folks in my polycule, my partners and Metamors, for play testing this game, and other folks from my friends Sean and Mallory and Chris, who sat through me tweaking this game. And so I just want to give a shout out to those folks, and also to my roommates Sammy and Danny, who were so quiet and actually left without me even noticing that they left. So shout out to them for being quiet during this recording.
Well, thank you to all of them and to you for being here today. And Pate, so nice to have you on the show. As we said, we want to have you on for a long time, and we appreciate you not only being an inspiration to us, but also just being just a great guy and a wonderful listener of our show. So the floor is yours. Any words from you as well?
First off, Anna, it was a great written game. The clues were very helpful at times to come into things we didn't have a clue about, but you did a wonderful job there. So, and I thank you all for your great content and all you produce out and stuff. The one thing I would like to tell people is if you think there may be a problem, don't think it's just indigestion, because apparently I thought it was indigestion the first time, and the heart attack I had last year was probably my second heart attack. But you never know really what's going wrong, and don't say I don't want to feel stupid going to the doctor and it's nothing. From personal experience, I wish I'd gone to the doctor over nothing and not ended up like I've gotten. But my life is on batteries 24/7 right now until I do get a heart transplant at some point, which I hope is a few years down the road. But go to the doctor. Don't feel that well, the doctor belittled me. Okay, the doctor belittled you and you found out it was nothing. That's good. If I'd gone, I wouldn't be where I'm, in the circumstance that I am now. Like I said, I do appreciate you all, shouting out to me while I was in the hospital recovering. And, we all are going to have bad days. Nobody's days are perfect. Even the most smiley, happy person has bad days and gets down. But we got to remember that every day above the grass is better than any day below the grass. So once again, thank you all for a great show and great content, because you all help pass time at work, in the car, wherever, I listen to it or whatever. So I do appreciate you all's effort, because I know you all invest many hours into doing this for our entertainment. And if you're able to give them $1 or $2, throw it to them. It's just a way of saying thank you for, their effort. Let them know you appreciate it. If there's other podcasts you listen to and you can afford $1, show them that you appreciate what they're doing. They're not asking you for it. They're going to produce it anyway. But, just a little bit of help, just to say thank you, that gesture goes a long way. It's not, $1 isn't much, you think, but, if 20 people give $1, there's $20 more than they had, last month.
Well, thank you, Pate, for all of those wonderful words.
That's the best ad read we've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Well said. There's nothing, much else that we can add to that that's going to top it. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Anna, for writing today's game. For Ken, Jeff, Matt, Pate, and Anna, my name is Neal, and that was Triviality.
I will add, consider being an organ donor.
Oh, that too. Yes. Consider being an organ donor. Yes, if you can.
I'm not an expert in Bones. Never watched it. Like that, Neal?
I did enjoy that. Yeah.